Mindfulness of thoughts. Welcome to your Mindfulness of Thoughts meditation. And now that you've arrived, just taking a few moments to congratulate yourself on being here and getting here today. Sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. So just sitting with that for a few moments. Allow your body to adopt a relaxed yet alert pose. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes and begin to notice your breath. Notice the air coming into the body and then leaving the body. Don't try and change your breathing. Simply use a curious eye to pay attention to it in its natural rhythm. Notice how your feet make contact with the ground. Notice the parts of your body that make contact with what you're sitting on. Perhaps notice any tensions in your body. And don't try and change the tensions. Just notice that they are there. Be aware of them. Take some time to sit in silence and notice all the thoughts that come into your mind. There may be things that you've done this morning, or something you think you've forgotten, or could be conversations. Sometimes they may be critical thoughts. Whatever they are, just adopting, perhaps, that sense of curiosity about them. Noticing them and paying attention to them, rather than getting caught up in them. Simply notice them. Notice how they come and they go. Notice how they pass. Notice how some thoughts might draw you in and others just float on by. And if they do draw you in, just acknowledging that, and then simply going back to noticing as best you can any other thoughts you may have. And now imagine that you are sitting in front of a conveyor belt. And the conveyor belt appears out of a hole in the wall and disappears into another hole at the other end of the room. And as it moves along, there are hundreds of blank post-it notes on the belt. And as you become aware of a thought in your mind, just simply take a post-it and write the thought down on it. And then place the thought on the post-it back onto the conveyor belt and watch it move along. When you notice another thought appear in your mind, again, take a post-it and write it down. Put it back on the conveyor belt and watch it as it moves along through the hole in the wall. If you have an image that comes into your mind, take that image. Draw it on the post-it note. If you notice any emotions or physical sensations, write them down on the post-it and then put them on the conveyor belt and simply watch them move along. If you're getting lots of thoughts, feelings, physical sensations at the same time, you may want to imagine holding the post-it notes in your hand so that you have time to write them all down. Take your time, and when you are ready, stick the notes onto the conveyor belt. Sometimes the conveyor may need to be stopped so that it can be cleaned or the mechanics can inspect it. And at these points, you can still continue to write your notes onto it. The conveyor is big and it'll be able to accommodate all your post-it notes. Notice, however, that your notes you have written will linger. They won't move along into the hole in the wall. And that's okay. Notice that they are in front of you and you can observe them. You're the onlooker, looking at them curiously, without getting lost in them. But if you do get lost in the thoughts and carried away with them, Just acknowledging that, and then coming back to noticing your thoughts again. Don't try to change your thoughts in any way. Simply learn to observe them in a curious and open way. Place them on a note and watch them disappear along the conveyor belt. And when you're ready, just bringing your attention back into the room you're in, back into your body wherever you are, back into your face, neck, shoulders, your legs and arms, and bring your attention back into the room with full awareness, alertness, awake, and ready to get on with your day, better prepared to deal with thoughts.